Greetings, I am Dr. Catherine Kate Morrison. This narrative pertains to my step. The avarice of my brother imparted a costly lesson. Instruction on the consequences of underestimating a nation. Occasionally, the individual in soiled footwear possesses greater knowledge than the individual in the design role. Morrison Farms was not an ordinary suit. The cattle ranch was home to the most renowned breeding program in Texas, possessing bloodlines valued in the millions. My grandfather initiated it, followed by my father, elaborated upon it and devoted my life to pursuing a career as a veterinarian, to attend to our reproductive initiatives. All circumstances altered upon my father's marriage. Sandra Brooks, she arrived 6 years ago, having a son, Travis, who possessed an MBA from Harvard and extensive plans for modernization. Conventional operation from the outset. He saw our meticulous breeding initiative and personalized animal care as obsolete and inefficient. Kate, dear, he has reviewing inventory statistics on his mobile device. Additionally, my administration Morrison sounds on pregnant individuals. Your aspirations are limited. We must enhance our operations to optimize profitability comprehensively. This individualized attention to the animals is encroaching into the margins that Travis did not comprehend. Travis, that our reputation was not established on margins upon which it was founded to generate the most exquisite gossip in the nation. The rancher was aware of a Morrison lineage. Inspire excellence in our bulls consistently. Auctioned for 6 figures. Breeding contracts have a duration of 3 years. Travis was on the waiting list, and he believed in the unique values of Morrison Farms. He began to pressure his father on a spreadsheet to adopt industrial agricultural telephonetics, to regard our operation as a commodity producer instead of the boutique breeding program. It was Dad who was impressed. Travis possesses a business degree and corporate experience. Swaquity began auditory engagement. I attempted to elucidate the rationale. Mass production would obliterate all. We, Morrison, said that our clients pay premium prices due to their awareness of our concern for our animals. I contended that they are not purchasing in quantity cattle, they are purchasing for decades. Meticulous breeding and individual. Travis would merely roll his eyes. Eyes are the reason you continue to play veterinarian, managing the cattle during examination. The definitive business choices. What they were unaware of was that 5 years when I completed veterinary school, grandfather established a separate. The company is registered under the name Morrison Genetics, LLC. Every esteemed lineage, every breeding contract for each prize winning the animal was registered under this company. The farm possessed a licensure for utilization. Derive benefits from these genetics as long as they preserved our conventional breeding. Grandfather had witnessed an excessive number of standards. Family farms devastated by modernization safeguards the bloodlines. Katie, he had stated prior to his passing, they are the authentic legacy of your family is the circumstance. Culminated at the Texas event last month. Awards dinner of the Cattlemen's Association. Our esteemed bull, Thunder Spirit, had recently attained grand champion status, so earning another accolade. $1 million to his genetic worth. Trust perceived financial opportunities, although he did not act upon them. Comprehend the factors that contributed to the modernization of Thunder Spirit. The following morning, the agricultural estate persuaded father to convene a family meeting. The moment has come for Morrison Farms to engage in contemporary practices. Travis announced it while standing in our presence. Family room with his Italian suit appearing incongruous amidst the weathered leather. I have conceptualized a modernization of the furnishings strategy that will triple our output. He articulated his concept for sales capacity, removing our inflated trophy bowls, prioritizing quantity over quality, our meticulously maintained pastures into high Morrison genetics, procedures that father has consented to transfer. Dominant ownership to me. Travis persisted in smirking in my. We require resolute leadership, not somebody who spends the entire day gaming. Veterinarian with the animals I observed while my father was present. Travis's mother signed the documents. Her radiance with him for 2 decades of my life. The transfer of one's life's effort to another individual, who regarded our creatures merely as figures on a balance sheet, are not a cause for concern. Kate Travis stated. We will still require a veterinarian, although in a patronizing manner. As long as you acquire the necessary skills, you can be employed. More. No longer efficiently this individual. Careless absurdity. I rose silently. Need to verify the status of Thunder Spirit. He possesses a breeding collection arranged for the following day. Travis gestured dismissively. Disparagingly ensure that all the documentation is prepared for my takeover. Next week, we have prospective purchasers arranged, interested in acquiring some of these exorbitantly priced animals. I drove my pickup to Thunder Spirit's field in which he grazed with his meticulously chosen, extracting my phone. I placed a call. I had thought I would never. Must contact Dr. Williams. Morrison recalls the contingency plan. We deliberated on it the following morning. Began luminous and unclouded. Travis has come, prepared in advance for his inaugural official day. As the newly appointed head of Morrison Farms, he possessed prospective buyers inspecting Thunder Spirit, intending to sell our prized bull for quick cash's new Range Rover accelerated dust as he proceeded to the primary barn, currently conversing on his Bluetooth regarding modernization plans. He was preoccupied with examining his tablet that he overlooked something. Strangely, the pastures were devoid of livestock. I was seated in my serenely consuming coffee in the medical office, anticipating the arrival of the storm at KT Triss. Burst through my door, face flushed red. Where are the cattle, Thunder Spirit? Gazed upward from my medical records. Morrison Genetics LLC has relocated safely to our new facilities last night. Morrison, what are you referring to? I retrieved a folder and slid it across my workstation. 5 years ago, Grandpa established an independent entity to safeguard our bloodlines of every valuable animal on this genetic farming offspring entitlements. All breeding contracts are owned by my company. The farm possessed merely a license to utilize them, provided that specific conditions were satisfied, and Travis seized the opportunity. The documents in his hands. This is implausible. The farm possesses a fundamental herd of cattle. I corrected him, but Thunder Spirit was not satisfied. The embryos of his whole breeding lineage. Our laboratory conducts the $1 million breeding. All contracts are associated with Morrison and examine the registration documents for genetic information. The hue receded from his visage as he desperately perused GH catalogs. Every significant item he intended to sell was legally possessed by my company. Any father, he exclaimed, retrieving his phone. We encounter a dilemma. Father arrived 20 minutes ago. Subsequently, Sandra and I had already presented all the documentation for breeding registries and genetic patent contractual agreements that Grandpa and I had discreetly placed to safeguard our legacy on the farm. I possessed solely a licensing agreement. I gently communicated to Dad that it had expired. The instant you relinquished authority to an individual intending to forsake our breeding program standards, you duplicitous little scoundrel, she began, but Travis interrupted her. Is business acumen finally comprehending the circumstances regarding his demands? What is the cost to acquire the genetics company? I smiled. It is not for sale, but I possess a counterproposal. I articulated my conditions. I would license the genetic material and breeding rights and the reinstatement of rights to the farm, but contingent upon particular circumstances. I would not have any control over the breeding program, and there would be no mass manufacturing without liquidation. We would preserve the bloodlines. The criteria that established Morrison cattle as the preeminent in the industry. What if we decline? Travis inquired through clenched teeth. Then I take my company. If I don't take my livestock and agreements, the buyers you arranged won't get premium farm prices. Lineages devoid of them, Morrison Farms transforms into only another commodity. Ranch father had sunk heavily onto a chair, gazing suddenly at the elderly. Katie, why did you not inform me about this? Old, you have listened, Dad. You were so admired Travis's contemporary enterprise concepts you overlooked that contributed to our farm, particularly in the initial instance. The subsequent few weeks were fraught with tensions. Travis attempted to engage in combat legally, but our documentation was us ultimately. They were left with no alternative but to acquiesce to my thunder spirit, and the remainder of our gift were refunded toward their passion. I assumed control of the breeding program entirely while Travis concentrated on the fundamental activities of the farm. Under my last month, I supervised Travis at the national level. We secured 5 awards at the cattle exhibition tournaments. Travis stood uncomfortably at the celebratory supper as purchasers commended our dedication to conventional breeding. "You have orchestrated this with foresight, did you not?" he inquired later, observing me care for a newborn calf, all those years of engaging in simplicity. The agricultural veterinarian, I was not engaged in the activity. I responded by assessing the calf's vital signs. I was preserving our heritage. These are not merely Travis, the assets are on a spreadsheet. We are live organisms, and they are our accountability. Yesterday, my father visited me in my clinic examining my wall of veterinary references, degrees, and breeding accolades with "Your granddad would be proud of his eyes." He constantly remarked that you were somebody who comprehended our essence, or the construction of the farm persists, here to prosper in a manner distinct from Travis had intended. He is gradually acquiring knowledge that certain matters cannot be quantified in terms of profit. Margin. Occasionally, he assists with the cows while he continues to decline. Wearing a young agricultural student acquired footwear last week, inquired why I did not simply obtain my livestock and relocate and begin anew in a different location. I presented her Thunder Spirit's latest calf, demonstrating his sire's championship lineage potential, as this land is not merely soil and vegetation. I informed her that it is decades of diligent labor and aspirations and dedication that occasionally entail safeguarding a lie. It entails maintaining your position despite opposition. You must exercise discretion. Morrison Farms continues to be a familial enterprise. With a more lucid comprehension of who effectively manages operations, and upon examination, the new sign at our entrance, the date will reveal something intriguing. Morrison collaborates in a distinguished cooperation with Morrison Genetics. Occasionally, the most effective retribution is not concerning victory. It is about preserving what matters, even if you have to outsmart a Harvard MBA to achieve it.